welcome to Elizabeth Eternal. Today we're going to go over my top 4 tips to making an open relationship work. This is a really tricky subject, so go ahead and stick around to the end. Wait till the end to form your opinions, okay? I am going to go ahead and link a video below. It's the video about my open relationship. Make sure to check that one out so that you kind of know where I'm coming from and what that dynamic looks like. It'll make things a little bit easier. So let's get right into it with tip number 1, and that is radical communication. Now this breaks down into 2 parts, personal accountability as well as radical communication and communicating well. Now, personal responsibility is a very hard thing for a lot of people to do. It's not something we were taught, but your emotions are yours. They're yours to navigate, and that doesn't mean that you are a free agent and that your partner shouldn't be meeting your emotional needs. That's not what that means. It means that if you're having a hard time, you are having a hard time, not the other person. And blaming the other person or trying to point fingers isn't really going to help the situation, whether you're in an open relationship or not. It's just not an effective or healthy way of interacting with the world around you. If you're feeling a great amount of jealousy or hurt or pain, sitting down with somebody and saying, this situation made me feel this way, is going to be a lot more effective than getting angry and being like, you did this and you betrayed me and this is horrible, and just going off the rails, right? That kind of communication isn't going to help. It isn't going to help. When you take that on as yours, these are your emotions and you need to deal with them, and you can come to your partner in a way that is conducive to actual help, actual emotional maturity, and actual connection, which really is overall the desire, right, of any relationship. It's to connect, it's to feel intimacy, right? And when I say, if I'm angry with you and I come to you and I say, hey, when this happened, it made me feel this way. It's a lot easier for that other person, for you, for anyone to be able to say, you know what, I could see how that happened. I can see how that happened, and I don't want to hurt you. So why don't we do this instead next time? Or just sitting there and giving you space to be angry or be upset or be jealous or whatever it is that you're feeling. Personal accountability is really important. And the second part of that is radical communication, right? It's being willing to say, hey, I feel jealous, and know that it's not going to change the dynamic, and know that you're going to be met with, I'm really sorry you feel that way. How can I help? I'm going to go more in depth on this subject at a later time, because one 10-minute video to go over all of this in depth is too much. But radical communication and personal responsibility, it's really, really important. Tip number 2, have rules and stick to them. This is where I see so many people really, really, really mess up. They don't create rules based on honest feelings and radical communication, and they don't know they need to stick to any rules, so they don't. Safety in a relationship comes from your ability to predict what's going to happen. The more you trust somebody, the safer you feel with them, right? When you are exploring an open relationship and you start having these experiences outside of your relationship, where does that safety come from, right? Because now you really can't trust the fact that you're the only person in your partner's life, because that's not true. That's not the truth. They're out there and they're having other experiences with other people. So where does that safety come from? The safety comes from your ability to say, I know this is not happening, and this is sacred to my relationship because we have rules, and I know that they're going to stick to them. Some of these rules may look like something like, our bed is for us and us alone. We don't have any other partners in our bed. No sleepovers. Or I want to know that something is going to be happening before it happens or immediately after, depending on the situation. But I don't want secrets. We don't keep secrets. I want to know. There are a million rules and so many things that you can go over. And again, this is a situation where I'm going to have to go more in depth to really get the point across. But for now, before that video comes out, a way that you can keep yourself safe in your relationship while also opening yourself up is having rules and knowing that the other person is going to stick to them, having personal accountability, and knowing that those rules are going to be upheld. They're sacred to your relationship, they're important to your relationship, and you are going to follow through with them. Tip number 3 is be intentional. Be intentional with your relationship. You started this initial relationship with this person for a reason. I would hope that at this point, when you're exploring your open relationship and you're exploring what this means to you, that you're not doing it because you're having a hard time, and you're not doing it because your relationship is in trouble, but because you just love each other so much and you want them to have beautiful, amazing experiences outside of your relationship, and you want them to live the life that is right for them. And if that's the case, then you need to be more intentional about your relationship and protecting your relationship and knowing that this is solid. This is good, right? This means date nights. This means complimenting one another. This means learning each other's love languages and using them regularly. This is giving little gifts just because you thought about it. This is taking intentional time that is just you guys. It's not anyone else. It's not anything else. And this is really important, especially in something like polyamory, right? Where you have 2 long-term committed or 3 or more relationships, right? You need to be intentional with the relationships that you have. Something about having an open relationship that so many people overlook is that this is a level of personal responsibility. This is a level of trust and communication and intentionality in every single aspect of your life than any one person is going to have in their monogamous life. It is a huge responsibility, and you have the ability to hurt the other person so greatly and get muddled in the middle and never really reach the peak of what your relationship could be. So being intentional with your time and making sure that that other person is feeling loved consistently, that you're building communication and love and fun and memories and beautiful, beautiful things that make you guys so happy. And you need to be more intentional about that time. And my 4th tip for having an open relationship that is really beautiful and really good and really fun is find you. Find you. There are going to be moments where your partner is out with somebody else and they're having a really good time and they're having a really fun experience. And in those moments, you can choose compersion over jealousy, and there will be other videos about that as well. But what is also equally important as creating compersion and moving away from jealousy is your ability to do something you love and know yourself well enough and have enough of self-confidence and assurity in yourself that you have something to do. So often we get lost in our relationships. I know I did for a really long time, right? Everything that we do kind of revolves around that other person. Everything that we interact with throughout the day revolves around that person, and everything sort of comes back to this one central thing, and it's this relationship. And I don't necessarily think that's healthy, whether you're monogamous, open, or polyamorous, but one of the really beautiful things about having an open relationship is that at the end of the day, you are your own person, they are their own person, and you come together as a team. So finding yourself, whether that's you love to read, or you love to go to the park, or you like to go out with your friends, or you like to have your friends over, or you enjoy cooking, or whatever it is that you love to do, whatever is life-giving and beautiful to you, invest in those things. Make sure that you are a whole person, so that even when you're choosing compersion, even when you're moving away from jealousy, you can then in turn build yourself, create something beautiful inside of yourself. Know that you are learning and you are growing and you are evolving as a human, and it's so, so beautiful. All right, those are my tips for you guys. Like I said, all of these are going to be expanded upon in later videos, so check them out. Make sure that you're subscribed, like this video so I know you're enjoying the content, and if you have any questions, please place them below so that I can answer those for you. You guys have a beautiful night.